there! Well, today I am going to be sharing with you some of my favorite items from my recent Sephora haul. I posted a really big Sephora haul just a while back. I will link to that below. And in that order, I had a number of items that were new to me. And I wanted to share with you the items that really stood out, things that I've fallen in love with, that are new favorites of mine. And I'm also going to let you know about a few of the products that were disappointments that I ended up returning. So if you're interested in seeing all that, then just keep watching. Okay, so I've gathered all the items that really stood out to me from the Sephora haul, and I have them all here, so let's just dive in and get started. Now, some of these things you'll probably already know they're favorites of mine because I've posted individual product reviews and sort of raved about them. So the first item, I think this was the most recent review that I've done, is the Guerlain Meteorites Primer. This is an excellent primer. I really loved it. I will, of course, link to the reviews I've done on some of these products below, but this was new to me. It's something I wanted to try for quite a while, and I really am happy that I ordered it. So that is probably in my top 2 or 3 of the items that I ordered. Speaking of the top items that I ordered, the next one is without a doubt the Dior Rosy Tan palette. Again, this is something that I already shown you a review on. I think we're just going to pop those out, the little spongy tips. This is a beautiful palette. Another thing that had been on my wish list for quite a while. I've been loving creating looks with this. I'm actually wearing it today. I find myself wearing this most days recently because it's just so easy to work with. It really is a dream palette. I absolutely love it, and it's going to be perfect for summer. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing like a quick tutorial, something that I've been throwing together every day with this. I'd be happy to do that at some point soon. And then next I showed you that I ordered the Orly set, and I've been going through those products and trying them somewhat slowly. I haven't really gotten a chance to try out everything, but there was one product in it that really has stood out to me so far, and this is the Orly Beauty Elixir. This is a really refreshing beauty mist. It feels very cool on the face. It's very refreshing and invigorating, and I can see me using this a lot more, especially as we come into the summertime and you just need sort of a midday refresher, something to kind of lift your spirits a little bit and make your skin look a little bit more glowing. So anyway, I really enjoy that, and I think this is something that I'm going to carry with me when I travel as well. I am planning to do an entire review on that set and kind of go through the individual items, but for right now that one has really stood out to me. I also placed an order for a number of nail polishes with that Sephora haul, and I have been really thrilled with everything that I ordered. And one probably won't come as a surprise to you, but the Sephora Formula X in Gemini has been a favorite. That's actually just recently made it into my April favorites for the month, but it's a color that I get a lot of compliments on. It's probably one of my more favorite colors that I've purchased recently. It's definitely unique to anything I have, and it's just a really beautiful, girly spring and summer color. And also, I've been very impressed with the Sephora Formula X, the formulation of the polishes. I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't tried them in store at all, and I just was going solely based on colors, and I really have been happy with that. So along the same lines of other polishes, I had picked out a couple of toppers with the order. And the first one is the beautiful Light My Fire. This has multicolor shimmer and glitter in it. It's probably like a gold-based shimmer, the really small shimmer, and then the larger pieces of glitter are multicolored, mostly with greens and blues and pinks. I think I see a lot of green and pink mostly, but there's quite a few colors in here, so this would actually go with a number of polishes. I've been using this a lot as just an accent nail. I could probably put this on my toes too. I think it would be really cute, but if you want a sort of a really multi-dimensional topper with lots of different colors and really beautiful and great formulation, I would check this out. And then also another topper that I've really been enjoying is Over the Moon. This is going to be a little bit harder for you to see. I will try to insert some pictures into this video as well so that you can get a better look at some of these items. But this is an iridescent, very, very fine micro shimmer, and it just has a beautiful iridescence to it. This is much more sheer than the Light My Fire. This has it's not opaque because it is a topper, but this has a little bit better coverage over the entire nail, and this is definitely something that is just going to add a very very, very subtle sheen over the top. I think this looks really beautiful with like a light pink polish or a light lavender polish. It just adds that beautiful, somewhat iridescent look to it. Something that you're not going to notice probably when you're looking at your nails straight on, but when it catches the light, it's going to give it a really beautiful extra something. So I've really been enjoying that. I am really looking forward to getting some more of the Formula X polishes because I have, like I said, been very impressed. Okay, a couple other items here. I'm sorry, I do have one more nail item that I wanted to mention. When I placed this order, I was having a really terrible time with my nails. They were cracking and peeling. They were actually cracking from the sides, and then the layers of my nails were peeling off. So I needed something that was going to be a nail strengthener. And I saw this, again, Formula X nail strengthener. And what attracted me to this was that it is also a base coat. And I have to say, this has been wonderful. It has not only really strengthened my nails, it goes on as it's sort of a thinner base coat and a thinner nail strengthener, but it provides a lot of strength to the nails. And the side effect or benefit of this that I wasn't anticipating at all is that it really extends the wear of my polish. I was absolutely floored by that. I wore a polished look for most of this week. I wasn't gentle on them at all. I did my typical housework. Even at one point, I was looking at some tiles at Home Depot. So I know when you're looking at, or working with things that are kind of rough like that, you can really wear off the tips of your nails. So I wasn't really being gentle. I was picking things up and kind of scratching my nails and things like that. And I was just really blown away about the wear time of my polish since I've been using this as my base coat / nail strengthener. So this is definitely worth checking out. I know there's a lot of great options at the drugstore as well, but because I was already placing my order, I picked this up, and it would be something that I would repurchase through Sephora because I have been so impressed with it. So just something to think about if you were having a nail strength problem like me. And then the next item I wanted to talk about is actually something that I didn't order, but it was one of the point perks that I picked up, and I really wasn't expecting to like this as much as I did. But this is the Caviar CC Cream. This is the 10-in-1 Complete Correction Leave-In Hair Perfector. If you look at this online, it has quite a few benefits, and I'm always very skeptical of hair products and what they can actually do for my hair. My hair is very difficult to work with. It's kind of fine and limp and all those fun things. So I just got this because I'd heard a lot about it, so I thought I would give it a try. But I've actually been really impressed. It gives my hair a little bit of shine. It doesn't weigh it down. It doesn't make it greasy. It gives it a little bit of extra fluff, which probably isn't all that obvious right now because I'm in bad need of my root touch-up for my color, which always makes my hair a little more limp. But I will definitely repurchase this in the full size. This has really, really impressed me, and I think it's pricier as far as hair products go. It's $25 for the full size, I believe. But I think it would be worth it because this takes very little. So I may not even get around to purchasing the full size for quite a while because the sample is so generous. It doesn't take much for my length of hair and fine hair. And then just a couple other things I wanted to mention that I was really happy with the Deborah Lippmann Tools of the Trade, specifically these cuticle nippers that came in the set. I've really been enjoying this set. I think it's very good quality, and these cuticle nippers are very sharp and very precise, so they do a really good job. I do have to be somewhat careful. I don't apply too much pressure because I did nick myself a little bit because I kind of need to let the cuticle nippers do their job. They are very sharp and precise, so they will grab that cuticle. I don't need to push and apply any pressure. I just let it do its thing, and it works very, very well. And finally, the last new to me product that I've been really, really happy with is the Origins Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream to brighten and depuff. Now, you've heard me recently talk about the CeraVe eye cream, which I love, but I use that exclusively at night. And at the same time that I purchased the CeraVe eye cream, I had received a sample of this Origins Ginseng. Actually, I think my mom got the sample as a point perk when she was with me, and she gave it to me to try out. And I really love it. It really does a great job of brightening my under eye area. It doesn't cause the little milia, the little oil pockets that sometimes come up when things have a little bit too much well, I can't say too much hydration, but they don't react well with my skin, I should say. And so I'm always very reluctant to try new eye creams, but I did give this a go. And it's fabulous. So I really enjoy my CeraVe for night, but for the daytime, because of the light reflecting properties in this, I love it. And my concealers and things like that go really well over the top of it. I'm probably going to do an entire review on this because I do love it so much, but I did just want to mention to you that it is something worth looking into if you're in the market for a new eye cream and you really need something to combat dark circles. I am always dealing with allergies and things like that, so, and especially if I rub my eyes because of the itchiness, I always end up with darker circles the next day. So this really helps me kind of diffuse that, deflect it a little bit, and create a bit of a distraction. So I really, really enjoy it. And that is everything. Those are all the standout products. Now a couple of the boos that I need to talk about now that we've covered all the bravos. The Nars Light Reflecting Powder. That was the first item that I was not impressed with, and I will tell you why. I had mentioned that I had something in mind when I purchased that I was going to share with you that is obviously not going to work out. But what I was hoping is, because I had heard that it was a really good pore minimizing, blurring effect kind of powder, I was hoping to take a drugstore foundation that might be maybe not as fancy and as many not as much great technology as like my Guerlain Lingerie Depot, and I was hoping to be able to transform a less expensive foundation with that powder and make it look like something more high-end. But it became very apparent to me very quickly that that was not going to be what I had hoped it would be, and I much prefer my Urban Decay Naked setting powder, the loose powder that I've shown you before. That to me is far and away better. The Nars powder, while I know that for a lot of people that's a great powder, for me it just wasn't what I expected at all, so that went back. The other item that went back was the Tom Ford Neroli Portofino Body Spray. That was not what I was expecting at all either, but I kind of think that was more my fault. I really wanted the Neroli Portofino perfume. I mentioned to you before that I got a sample of that last summer. I fell in love with it. It was just the most beautiful summer fragrance, and I really thought that I could spend less on this body spray and get that same fragrance, and it just wasn't even close to me. I think when I only sampled it once, I knew immediately that it was going to go back, so I didn't want to waste any more of it, even though it's probably, you know, a loss anyway. But it just had a very, I'm going to just say it had a very cheap smell. It smelled like, to me, a drugstore body spray, and not in a good way. It was just, it just smelled cheap. I really don't have any other way that I can say it, unfortunately. So my fault, probably. I should have known better and just to get what I knew that I wanted. I'm sorry, I see my camera flashing, so I think I'm going to run out of time here a second. But the next and final thing that I returned was the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in Diffused Heat. Now, I had seen some reviews on that, so I kind of went into it with a little bit of trepidation. Some women on here that I really respect their opinions had not had a good experience with it. I still felt like it was going to be a unique color to my collection, and that was true, but the formula to me was just a little bit disappointing. I don't think it was a bad formula by any means, but I kind of agree with some other reviews that I've seen that it really didn't provide anything special, no special effect on my cheeks. Now, I've only tried that one color, so I can't speak for the other ones. And it was also, and I can't really say this is drawback, but maybe it was for me, it was very, very densely pigmented. So while I was barely touching my brush into the powder, it was going on so heavily onto my skin that I was really having to work to buff it out. And it's just my preference. I would much rather have to apply more blush than have to apply very little or do it so carefully that I'm constantly buffing to get rid of that really bright pigment. So that went back as well, and I don't like returning things. I try to make choices very, very carefully, but sometimes, you know, you do your best research that you can, but it just doesn't work out. And I am grateful to Sephora that they have such a generous return policy, and the employees were so nice about it. And but yes, I let them know everything was sampled, but it just didn't work out. So that is it. So those are all of my boos and bravos for the Sephora haul. I hope that this was helpful to you. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.